Alright guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I last made a video, but in today's video I'm actually gonna do a market recap for you guys, or even a trade recap itself. Today is the Friday 22nd of August 2025. I'm just gonna show you guys my entry model and whatnot. Okay, so today I actually took two trades, one win, one loss. There was another trade that I was meant to take. It was a sell limit, but I didn't manage to enter because of spreads. I'll show you guys everything. So as you guys can see right here, this liquidity is the one that I marked out. Okay, this was my first signal, which was a EURUSD buy. I also sent a signal out in my free group. If you guys want to join, just let me know. But yeah, this is the liquidity I was looking for. Why was that liquidity I was focusing on? Is because it was a New York / London low. So I marked it on the 1 hour time frame because 1 hour is the one that I use for liquidity. And then moving on, once I mark out the liquidity, I go on a 1 minute time frame after the liquidity has been touched. And the reason that I entered this trade was because as it got swept, it gave me a IFVG, which is an inverse fair value gap. So it broke the inverse fair value gap, or even it broke the bearish fair value gap, therefore entering my buys. So I did manage to enter this buy at 1.15926. It was a very small stop loss. It was a 4 pip stop loss, and the TB is 8 pip. Price went up just by a few pips and then reversed back to SL. I really believe this was a good trade. Maybe the sweep right here could have been nicer, but overall it's still a very good trade. A very good trade. Yeah, like I said, all the conversions were aligned. We had session liquidity, we had IFVG. Also, I believe the SL was very tight. It was 4 pips. It's just market wasn't in our favor, right? So we moved. This was a 1% loss. I lost $464 to be very precise. And then following trades, I actually took it on GBPUSD. Alright. So I'll go to GBPUSD, I'll go on the 1 hour time frame, and I'll find the liquidity that I marked out. So yeah, there's actually two liquidity. Now I want to show you guys the sell limit that I was supposed to take. Alright, this trade was a sniper entry. I missed out by 0.1 pip, or even a very small pip, 0.5 pip. Okay, so this was the liquidity that was marking out. It was a London / New York low as well. Okay, so when I marked out this liquidity, I was just waiting for a reaction, right? And the reaction on the 5 minute wasn't good. Okay, the reaction on the 5 minute, it was a liquidity run because it gave me one bearish candle, and usually my entry model is I wait for two bearish candle as a liquidity run before I enter, but I wait for the retracement. Reason being why? Because this acts as a, I would say, my entry point, because price will have to tap back into this zone for me to enter. That's just my entry model, right? So I was supposed to enter at this line itself, okay, because this was the session low, but I think I mistyped the entry price, so I got a shittier zone, but it still did manage to, price still did tap into that specific zone. It's just that spreads. Alright, so the entry should be 994, right? I would have entered, okay, but my sell limit was at 1.33997, and the SL was 3 pips. Okay, price tapped into the line. As you guys can see, it retraced back into the line and instantly hit my TP, which is a 1:2. Alright, so I would have got another trade and I would have ended the day here, but like I said, no forcing trades. I did not enter after price reacted off of this zone, or reacted off of that liquidity, because I didn't want to force any trades. Alright, so it builds discipline, patience to just actually wait and see your setup hit TP without you actually making money. Yeah, so after this trade, I actually mark out Sydney session. So this Sydney session was a very tight liquidity because this liquidity, Sydney itself closes at 2 p.m. Singapore timing, right? So I was monitoring charts at around 2:05, and then it gave a freaking clean sweep, guys. Look, this was the liquidity that I marked out. It closes at 2 p.m. Right after 2 p.m, I marked out the liquidity. It swept, and then on the 1 minute, it gave a inverse fair value gap. Okay, this inverse fair value gap, price broke above the inverse fair value gap. I instantly buy. I entered at 1.33940. My SL was a 4 pip stop loss, 8 pips TP, and it ran 1:1. Majority of my students actually closed at 1:1 RR, but I held it without BE, and then I managed to hit it at a 1:2 risk to reward trade. Alright, So this trade itself, I managed to secure 2%. 2%. I took 2 trades, right? This selling limit I didn't take because of spreads. So the first trade was a 1% loss. The second trade was a 2% win. So I ended the day on a 1% gain. Alright, which is $700. Okay, relatively 1.2 or 1.3%. But yeah, let's just go to show that even with one win and one loss, if you have a good RR, you can still end the day in profits. So my trading plan is I will only take 2 trades per day. If both of them are losses, then it will be a loss. If both of them are wins, there will be a win. And one win, one loss, I will still be up. So yeah, that's a pretty much simple market recap or even trade recap for you guys. I'll try and do a weekly recap and see overall profits or overall trade that I took for this week. But yeah, we'll see. That's it for today's video, guys. Enjoy.